And it was, it was a hot
police
one.
You know
commissioner
what? Sometimes you
on the
need a
Larry
little
Young Morning
heat
Show.
to do some change.
And we're going to work through it. Both of them were committed to come back. I'm pretty sure Bishop Miles will do the same, Brother Gilliard. And we certainly make sure we get a woman up in here, both sides, from the Millennium side as well as the ministerial side. We'll take care of that. But what an honor it is to start off with having our commissioner here. Commissioner, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Senator. Thanks for having me. Sounds like a tough act to follow.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best.
I do understand
Check
that.
it out.
You know, one of the things that I'm curious about, you tell me how it fell in. The idea of, was there some discussion about police chief versus police commissioner and how that all became of some interest? Or,
Yeah, you know, I don't know. You know, Baltimore Police Department has been around since 1784. And I think the older big city police departments in America, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Boston, they refer to their chief as commissioner. So I don't know this. I'm sure there's an interesting story behind it, and maybe I should learn it. But I just know in Baltimore it's always been commissioner. I was the chief of police in Anne Arundel County, and before that I was the assistant chief in Prince George's County, where I spent my whole adult life. So semantics, I guess.
Gotcha. All right, sir. Well, how the best I would start off with is you have the position, and you've been out and about from looking at the various news stories and hearing some of the news reports. What are you sensing that you did not know, and you're now putting some attention to some issues that you want to put some time to?
Well, the gap between the community and the police department, and it's nothing that occurred overnight in Baltimore. And I think when law enforcement in Baltimore and cities across our country were faced with surging homicide rates in the 1990s, it kind of came about after the crack epidemics struck our big cities in the late 80s, early 90s. Some adjustments were made to how police officers police neighborhoods, and zero tolerance policing was introduced in cities like New York and others, and while that may have served to partially, arguably drive down some crime, it widened the gap between the police department and our communities. So that's not unique to Baltimore, but it's certainly something I've picked up on in my short time here.
Commissioner Faraji Muhammad here, sir, and thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule to be with us this morning. I think the number one issue, especially for my generation, is looking at what happened with the Freddie Gray situation. What is going to be the things that the police department is going to do